women run shit, right? And we use our powers of femininity in the ways that we can.
Women should always embrace their intelligence, never squelch their authentic self.
Has being a part of Mean Girls influenced your views on feminism, identity, or social dynamics?
I have always had this image of the three mean girls who are blonde and beautiful and like rule the school. So, you know, in terms of like feminism and wanting equal rights, like I think it's an interesting thought. We use our powers of femininity in the ways that we can. And sometimes they're moral and sometimes they're not, but that's what makes us human.
I think historically, stories about women, specifically young women, are seen as frivolous, not that important, especially if they're funny or include romance. It's like, oh, who cares? It's just sort of silly. But I think the cultural legacy of Mean Girls shows that it's not silly. It connects with people in a really deep way. That's why it's lasted 20 years. That's why we continue to tell this story 20 years later. So I think the dismissal of media that is traditionally consumed by women and young girls, I think that Mean Girls has really pushed against that. So I think that's a really cool thing that it's done.
That's a better answer.
How do you think the portrayal of feminism in Mean Girls compares to the portrayal in earlier teen movies? Was this a conscious decision during the writing process?
It's funny because Gretchen has a misunderstanding of it, right? Her understanding of feminism, as she says it, is like, you know, you don't date other people's exes. That's just like the rules of feminism, and she's seeing it in a very kind of limited way. But the true message of it is that women should always embrace their intelligence, never squelch their authentic self for the approval of others. And so in that way, the larger story of the movie is, it is very purposely built that way.
Do you feel that social media has impacted young women in their identities?
Oh my god, like so tremendously.
So much.
Yeah, for sure.
Where to even begin?
I think social media has a habit of like bringing to light or like making the most viral, like I guess like the creme de la creme of like any kind of part of like our, like whether it be beauty or like talent. And so I think being exposed to like the pinnacles of like this person who can sing extremely well and they're like 13 or 14, or like this girl who's like ridiculously beautiful when she's 15 and you're like, oh my god, I didn't look like that when I was 15. Like being exposed to all of that, I think is like, I don't know, it's really unhealthy. You just don't, your day-to-day basis of like the kind of people you meet is just not balanced out in that way. And so I think it's unrealistic.
What message do you want young people, specifically young women, watching to take away from the movie?
We all experience high school, and even out of high school, we still experience these hierarchies that seem to be just in place. There are glass ceilings that we all try to break, and something that I think that you could learn maybe from Janice is that there is power in finding the few friends that really see you, as opposed to trying to fit yourself into a clique or trying to fit in with the plastics or trying to work your way up that food chain that is high school.
And lastly, what advice would you give to young girls that you wish someone had given to you?
To follow your gut instinct always, to like, if something doesn't feel right, say it doesn't feel right. If you're doing something that makes you feel like you're being a bad person, think about what you're doing. To listen to your internal guide.